The end of the road for two Boeremark fugitives. They're captured after 8 months on the run. Tony Yengeni cleanses himself of prison, but is it in keeping with his parole conditions? And Makhaya Ntini racks up a bowling milestone in the second test against Pakistan.
Has got his 300th wicket.
This is E-News Prime Time. A very good evening. Two Boeremark fugitives who've been on the run for the past 8 months have been caught. Rudi Gous and Herman van Rooyen escaped from the Pretoria High Court last May. They and 20 other Boeremark members were on trial for treason, terrorism and sabotage. The two fled after slipping out of court undetected.
This is the townhouse complex in Pretoria where the two fugitives were found. Rudi Gous and Herman van Rooyen were arrested in an early morning police raid. Neighbors say the two had moved into Unit 43 on Thursday, but nobody recognized them.
I have an assistant that worked with me, and they also chatted to her, very polite with her as well.
When police entered the flat, they found the two men with loaded R5 rifles. They also found a fully stocked kitchen.
Judging by the amount of food in the duplex, they were ready for the long haul.
But their 8 months on the run has ended in a hasty appearance in the Pretoria Magistrates Court. They now face additional charges of escaping from custody and illegal possession of firearms. The two seemed amused by all the attention. They told journalists they had spent Christmas Day sleeping. But their new accommodation won't be so comfortable. They'll be kept at CMAX prison until they reappear in the Pretoria High Court with their 20 co-accused. The group's accused of seeking to overthrow the ANC government through a campaign of bombings and planning to assassinate Nelson Mandela. Gous and van Rooyen asked to be kept in the same section of CMAX as the others. But the state prosecutor said that was up to the prison authorities. National Police Commissioner Jackie Salibi attended the hearing. He warned that police will now turn their attention on those who helped Gous and van Rooyen while they were on the run. Kale Nair, E-News, Pretoria.
And while those two fugitives are back behind bars, a former inmate is celebrating his freedom. Tony Yengeni is spending the weekend throwing a homecoming party. The former ANC chief whip was released from prison earlier this week, having served just 4 months of his 4-year sentence. He insists he was wrongly convicted of defrauding Parliament after receiving a discount on a luxury car from an arms deal bidder, and the conditions of his parole are still unclear.
Enjoying the post-prison cleansing ceremony at his parents' Gugulethu home. And the event extends to the sports centre across the road. It seems as if no expense was spared for Yengeni's homecoming, with the erection of this nomadic-style tent and even a refreshment kiosk for thirsty guests. And no word on who's footing the bill for this bash. Although he started off nursing what appeared to be a bottle of still water, Yengeni soon progressed to traditional beer. His parole conditions include 16 hours of community service, and it was initially thought that alcohol was banned, but correctional services say that parole conditions are confidential. And Yengeni isn't saying much either. I mean, it's a happy occasion for you. You don't want to talk about it?
I'd rather not.
These security guards made sure the welcome party could proceed undisturbed. It started with the slaughtering of a bull and 2 sheep. And there's no doubt the guests are there for the long haul. Scheherazade Safla, E-News, Cape Town.
President Thabo Mbeki says it's only a perception that crime is out of control in South Africa. But one Johannesburg man says the president is wrong and he wants you to help him prove it.
First, led me through the
Neville Huxham talking about the most terrifying night of his life.
Opened the safe, they wanted the gun, they wanted the money. Then they brought me back and shoved me down here.
Just before Christmas, Huxham fought off 3 gunmen, taking 3 bullets in the process, and perhaps saving the lives of his dinner guests. Neville Huxham doesn't want to be a silent victim of crime. He's angry and he's hoping that a class action suit by himself and other victims of crime will jolt the government into taking crime fighting more seriously. He says South Africa is at war with criminals and the government isn't upholding his constitutional right to be safe. He wants crime victims to join him and sue for billions, but says it's not about the money.
And I want the government to be shamed into actually taking action and stop, like Charles Ngakula saying, stop whinging, if you don't like it, get out. It's not me. Thousands of my compatriots, black and white, are being injured and attacked and violated. And it's got to stop.
Huxham hasn't appointed a lawyer yet. He's testing popular support. And he's something of an expert on crime. He works for the company that provides security cameras around Johannesburg. Still, taking on the government in court won't be easy. Lawyer Glenn Penfold says Huxham would have to prove that the government had been willfully negligent in not fighting crime. And recent, slightly more positive crime statistics would make that tough. The courts are also not keen on telling the government how to spend its money.
Courts may have a hands-off approach in relation to certain decisions around the allocation of safety and security resources. So it's not an impossible claim, but I think it would be a difficult one to make.
But Huxham says he's ready for the fight. Ben said, E-News, Johannesburg.
And E-News Primetime continues. The weather goes on the rampage with killer storms around the globe.